Welcome to the Adhocracy Show, the show for people who can remember the best Super Bowl commercials better than the score of the game.
We'll be right back. And we're back. I'm JD Melville.
And I'm David Landeen.
And
you may notice...
You may notice that we are not broadcasting from our original locations.
Yeah, we had a little scheduling conflict, but we are so committed to get you this video for you to enjoy that we are doing this from not only different locations, but different states.
Absolutely. I'm broadcasting from Salt Lake City, Utah.
And I'm broadcasting from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Isn't that interesting?
It's not because of the Super Bowl or anything fun like that. I mean, it could be fun, but it's for a work trip.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we just finished the big game. Lots of great competitors came out. They contended hard, and of course, we're talking about the commercials.
That's absolutely right. The commercials competed. I mean, millions of dollars put into these to, one-up each other and come out on top. And we're gonna go and run down our individual lists of our top 10 favorite commercials. We actually agreed on number 1.
We did actually. For the first one, the Audi A8. This was a great commercial. Now, car commercials have always used space as a great connection to technology, being ahead of the curve, being out there. But I always felt that they kind of missed on connecting you to that,
Yeah, it's one of those things where they try and just say our technology is so great, look at us, but the feel of space travel or the era that space travel, the golden era of space travel just wasn't really there, and Audi really captured that with this commercial. This is one where an old man who used to be an astronaut is there, and he's trying to he seems down because he's no longer an astronaut. And then, is it his son that comes in, and he goes out, and they keep flashing back and forth between him as an astronaut and him driving the car, and it's really classy, really well done, and definitely had a nice feeling to it.
Yeah, I actually almost teared up on this one, and I also have to give this one bonus points for using David Bowie's song to kind of hit that home. So that was our number 1. So go ahead and tell us your number 2 there.
Okay, my number 2 is the Hyundai Ryanville commercial. This is the one where the two girls are driving through Ryanville, the city filled with Ryan Reynolds, and
Can you give me a warning?
enjoying everything.
Warning.
I like this one because of the casting. I thought the two girls actually played the part really well. You have the little breaking the fourth wall by the Ryan hiking the ball, the in my face joke. Just great comedy, and the reactions highlighting one of the features of the car. I thought this was really good. Yeah,
absolutely. So my number 2 was actually the Prius with the criminals. This was not only funny, but they were doing this very tongue-in-cheek. They really pointed out a lot of features of this car, and I thought that was really clever. I thought it was interesting how they used all of these different elements, and they made fun of themselves. They know that they're kind of seen as this weak car. They're seen as this car that no one really thinks much of as a car. It's just the Prius, and so they really played that up, and I thought that was fantastic.
I had this one as my number 4, and I really liked how they also implemented how everybody's watching them on TV and they're ranking them, who's the hottest one, and I thought they captured how society responds. I mean, it was kind of a subtle thing, but how society responds to criminals and almost makes them celebrities, but again, making fun of themselves. My number 3 was the T-Mobile Drake commercial. I had seen it on the internet. I had seen it before, but when they changed up the ending and changed up some of the jokes, it caught me by surprise. I really laughed. I thought Drake did a great job of responding. I mean, he really could make fun of himself, kind of. And then at the very end, when they put the T-Mobile people or the cell phone people in the box, and it's so awkward. I embraced the awkwardness. It was hilarious.
That was a pretty good one. My number 3 was actually the Hyundai commercial with Kevin Hart. And the reason why the Prius out-edged this one is this one focused on one specific thing. And they did this several times. They actually ran those 3 different commercials to really point out different things of the car. But this one, with Kevin Hart, great reactions, just hilarious. I thought how they brought that together.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. My number 4. Are we number 4? Number 4.
Yeah.
Was a Prius, which I already told you about. What was your number 4?
Now, number 4 was Axe. Axe has grown up. Axe has changed their campaign, and I actually studied a little bit into this campaign. Some very interesting stuff. We may even need to cover this a little bit more. Changing from their campaign of women want me when I sprayed on to kind of coming to a 20th century, 21st century view of what men grooming is and what your thing is. It's not necessarily one thing is sexy and that's what you go after. It's you do you. I thought that was a great way to bring up your campaign.
That was a really good one, and I agree that Axe has definitely been changing their image and been doing a good job of it. My number 5 was the Amazon Echo commercial with Missy Elliott and Jason Schwartzman. I especially enjoyed the part where Jason Schwartzman threw a taco at Troy Aikman. Hilarious. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Jason Schwartzman. I think he's hilarious. But when he threw the taco at Troy Aikman, I don't know, it made me chuckle. It made me laugh. And I've been following the teasers on that one. I thought the teasers were really good with this commercial. And yeah, that was my number 5.
That's a pretty good one. So my number 5, I actually had to go with the Honda Ridgeline. Now, first I have to kind of point out, this seemed for me the year of the car commercials. They did such a great job on these car commercials, and they kind of hit my top, a lot of them in my top couple. So good job, car commercials. But what I loved about this Honda Ridgeline was, again, they're pointing out one feature of the car. But they did it in such an ingenious way, like from a view of someone else, and that would be the sheep. That the music they play in the back of the truck, and these sheep are singing. Kind of a funny way of going about it, but really clever,
Yeah, this commercial definitely combined 2 big things from this year: talking animals and cars, and they did a good job. I mean, and you can't go wrong with Queen. I mean, come on, Queen is awesome. My number 6 was the Butterfinger Bolder Than Bold. I had seen the teaser for this one, and okay, that's pretty funny. But having a bull rider jumping out of an airplane, eating Butterfinger while his mom is telling him that's probably not a good idea. The mom part at the end was really funny to me. I thought that was funny to have your mom telling you that you probably shouldn't be doing that because it might be dangerous.
Yeah, that was a really good punchline that they had to it. So my number 6 was actually the Taco Bell Quesalupa. Now I had seen a lot of the teasers. Again, another thing that I thought was interesting about this year is a lot of teasers. They brought a lot of commercials in, and maybe they did that in years past, but I didn't really notice that. And this year it was just teaser after teaser, and so it was really interesting when the teasers and some of the commercials that they put out before the Super Bowl changed for the Super Bowl. This one in particular, the teasers for me, I was just like, okay, I don't, it doesn't really make sense. Fine, that one's probably just gonna fall through the cracks for me. But when I watched it, the way it strung it together, it's better than this, it's better than that, it's better. That was funny, especially the worldwide punch of football, the real football being soccer.
Yeah, that was, and with the teaser on that one where they had like the green box, I was actually kind of curious on what it was going to be. So they were that was definitely a new way of playing on the teasers.
True.
All right, my number 7 was Budweiser Helen Mirren. I think it was so simple but beautiful, having Helen Mirren telling people that they're dumb if they drive drunk, which they are. But I mean, Helen Mirren is such a great actress. She's so classy, so to the point, which she then says in the commercial, and I mean, it was just such a simple, well-written, well-produced commercial. But I mean, that's what you expect from Budweiser.
If your brain was donated to science,
they did great.
Return it.
They always have great commercials, but they've kind of started going more towards the serious side, and this was definitely a serious commercial, but with a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, they're making, well, not making fun of. They're pointing at the thing that makes you drunk is the beer, but you shouldn't drink, and you're probably a good person. And in a future episodes, we're definitely going to cover this, the rules of alcohol and what they can and can't do. That's going to be really interesting. We'll really dig into that. So for me, number 7 was actually the Jeep commercial. That they played a bunch of the pictures and kind of talked what Jeep was, and you're the one who makes Jeep. Me for this one definitely felt a lot like the Apple Imagine campaign, where they kind of spelled out, we're here for the dreamers. We're here for. They did a very similar thing. I thought that was really interesting.
And that's what I had for my number 8. So yeah, let's just move on to number 9, or your number 8.
So for my number 8, I went with Wix.com. Wix, when I saw the teasers before, I saw the little commercials that they did online. I didn't really love them. I love Kung Fu Panda. Jack Black is one of my favorite actors out there. But when I was watching, it was just very crossover-y, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't really think about it. But the Super Bowl commercial was really interesting because they changed it, and here we are, a bunch of people who are looking for great commercials, and they used commercials to really sell their product, but they're using popular commercials today, like the Old Spice commercial. I'm on the back of a tiger, and it's the tiger from the show. I thought that was hilarious.
Easy. Go to Wix.com.
And they went back to some classics, and they did a variety of commercials in there showing, and then went back to you don't need a commercial. You just need. But it's funny because it's talking about you don't need a commercial, but it's a commercial about not needing a commercial, only needing a website, and that's why I had that commercial for my number 9.
Oh, perfect.
Was the Wix.com. So what was your number 9?
Well, let's move on to my number 9 then. My number 9, again, you talked about T-Mobile. So the one for me, the T-Mobile with Steve Harvey. T-Mobile's been really interesting, and I think this is, again, another thing we can dig into in a future episode. T-Mobile changes the industry by actually changing the way they do business, and they've really disrupted the whole mobile telecom area by making things cheaper and offering this and that, and that's just kind of involved. On this one, there's been a couple different commercials that have been in response to the, I believe it's Verizon. No, is it Sprint? I think it's Sprint, right? It's got the ramp and the balls come down. Yeah. They're like, we won this, we won this.
Yeah, Sprint.
I've seen a couple of those kind of in response to Sprints. Basically saying, well, they didn't include this, they didn't think about this. This one again was a response. They were fresh with the Steve Harvey. Hey, this one wasn't my fault. But they also really kind of pointed out a lot of other things. This was last year's numbers, not this year's numbers. So. Very great commercial. That's my number 9.
All right. My number 10, and I guess we probably should have gone in reverse order, but it's okay. Yeah. my number 10 was the NFL Super Bowl babies. I thought that was a hilarious way of making fun of themselves, pointing out I guess how much the Super Bowl has infiltrated our culture. There are Super Bowl babies, and then having them singing.
Yeah, this one took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting an ad from NFL. I was looking at all the advertisers, and they had this ad really popped up, and I think this is a really interesting one where they used the data, a small data point that they learned from their own network type stuff. That really made a great point of what what that means and what it does, what the NFL is to us. So great choice. Yeah, I would, that was on my list a little bit further down, but yeah, I loved that one. So my number 10 was the esurance, the contest where you pass on the savings tweet and you can win. It was kind of a funny commercial. They use the slap stick type being sacked
people falling holes, people getting tackled. Yeah.
Easy laughs, and I was kind of laughing at it. The thing that I really loved it, and why this put this in 10th for me, was at the very end they had a Deadpool reference. The movie Deadpool is coming out soon, and it's been the way that they've cross-marketed the things that they've done. They did a PSA for men's health, which was just hilarious, and a great PSA for the most part. But it's kind of popped up here and there. Valentine's Day, they also did like a movie type trailer, making it kind of look like one of those love movies, and so that's mine for number 10.
All right, there you have it. Our top 10 Super Bowl commercials from Super Bowl 50, and just to prove that we are doing this right after the Super Bowl, final score was 24-10 for the Broncos. And hey, make sure you like us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, comment below if you had a commercial that you loved. If you agreed with us, let us know below, and we'll rejoice in our love for the commercials.
All right, and for your
for the made-up fact of the
made-up fact of the day, did you know that the famous Pepsi commercial that was, the one that everybody knows about, was actually an accident and was only made for the budget of $3.86.
There's no way they made it for that much.
Oh, that's true. Inflation.
Not true.